A lot of people think the future is going to be very bad, and it's a reasonable concern. I can see why you would think that, but it's not. It's going to be pretty good. Going to be very weird in some ways, hard to predict in others, but on the whole, it's going to be a lot better than the present, and certainly way better than the past. So this is Future History. We look back on the 2020s from the 2120s, and we remember the next 100 years. Let's talk about 3 big reasons why the future is better than you think. 1, you're going to solve the climate crisis. It looks really scary in the 2020s. It actually is. Large amounts of areas are burning. Places are desertifying. Some places are getting just too hot to live. There will be billions of people displaced, and literally millions will unfortunately die. Sorry, it doesn't all get that rosy-posy. But you can fix this problem. And in the 2020s, you're making solid strides toward renewable energy, sustainable sources, and you're reopening the conversation about nuclear energy, which you're going to greatly advance in the next 100 years. So you're making good solid strides, you're building lots of grid-scale batteries. That's really important. But in the 2030s, you're going to realize all that work was just part of the equation, because you actually also have to bring all this carbon out of the sky. Not all of it, obviously, but about as much as you've put in since, say, the Industrial Revolution. And in the 2020s, you're saying, yeah, we're already doing that. And that's good. You are. It's really cool baby steps. And in the 2030s, you're going to ratchet that stuff up significantly. And most importantly, you're going to actually use that carbon. You're not just going to bury it underground, which is frankly a very silly idea. But I can understand why some people would think they just want to put it away because they're very scared of the carbon. It's just a super useful material is the thing. You should make it into stuff. That's a free idea. Go make $1 trillion doing it. Number 2, you're going to solve human health. Basically, the whole question of human medical science hinges on your understanding of the complexity of the human body, which is quite elaborate. You've got about 30 trillion cells in any given human body. This is a facsimile, of course, but your human body, say, it's got about 30 trillion cells in it. All those cells have little parts. All the little parts are made of atoms and subatomic goodies. So once you start to understand those subatomic goodies better, you're going to have engineering marvels that can interact with the body to do largely whatever you want. And as you learn the genetic codes better and learn to edit them, which you're already doing in the 2020s, you're going to be able to fix biologically whatever you want. So those 2 vectors, engineering and genetics, are going to converge to solve human health. Basically, all human diseases are going to go away, and longevity will open up as a borderline indefinite possibility for humans. Some people will still get hit by buses and explode on the pavement. Unfortunately, that does happen until you get brain uploading. Some people are just gonna keep dying, but death will get more sad as the years go by, because you will increasingly have access to this longevity technology, and also you'll have better backups, and you'll understand the spirit world better, which kind of changes your relationship to death, but that's a bit of a different topic. So again, solving human health is basically a question of complex computing, and as of the 2020s, you're already just starting to surpass human brain capability with AI and advanced computational devices, and by the end of the 2020s and into the 2030s, you'll be well on your way to orders of magnitude more computational power and therefore complex understanding of operational systems than you've ever had in human history. That is mainly what you're going to use to solve human health. 3, you're going to functionally end poverty. This is something you could basically do already. You have the technology agriculturally and logistically and with regard to engineering in the 2020s. What you don't have is the social and political technologies you need to deploy those resources around the world efficiently and, altruistically. So those social and political technologies take time to evolve. Groups take time to trust each other. You need better tools for conversation on a really large scale. And that starts with you living your life in a healthy, communicative way with people around you, or even with yourself. So you can be a part of that solution. But let's talk about the fun tech stuff. Subatomic printing processes enable you to make food available at scale relatively affordably. So you can take basic energy in and basic raw materials in and just produce healthy food for everyone, everywhere, at scale, on location. You don't have to use logistics to get everything all around the world. You can just build these stations, start generating nutritious food at various locations in the world. It's not a 2030s technology, but by the 40s and 50s, this stuff is robustly well developed, and it's just not that difficult for countries around the world to make enough food for their people. We're talking baseline. We're not talking like fancy food. It's just like survival level food is a solved problem in the 40s and 50s. It's easy. It's not hard to make that stuff. And then the only other really big question about poverty is, where does everybody live? So that you're again already solving in the 2020s. You've got shelters you can build with 3D printers. They look hilarious from the point of view of the 2120s, when we use sort of like an exponentially automatically developing coral type thing that grows itself to whatever scale and shape you need. But in the 2030s, you can have really good 3D printing that you can sort of semi-automate. And by the 2040s, it's going to be able to make a complex, livable shelter for anyone that's near the source of one of these national food outputs. So you're going to solve the problem by radically simplifying it. Instead of mass farming, you're going to just generate nutrients, and farming will still exist. It's going to evolve and get better and more efficient in whole gobs of ways, but the main way you're going to solve poverty is you're just going to print food, and then you're going to build houses for everybody to eat that food in. So awkwardly, the logistics socially and politically become the most difficult part of this, and they're the thing that really takes the longest. It's not the underlying technology, it's how groups interact, and as I mentioned, you can encourage good development along this vector by being good to yourself and communicating well with those around you. So those are the three big ways in which the future is way better than people think. You're going to solve the climate crisis, you're going to solve human health, and you're going to solve poverty. And it's all happening in the next few decades. So why not be a part of it? Go out there, make these things happen, get them here sooner. If you like the idea of the future, why not invent it? So that's about the long and short of that. The future's not as bad as you think. Go out and make it better. Good luck, you.